myself Pandiyan. So I've been Microsoft MVP for past 2 years. So that's one of the recognition I had been received from Microsoft. So I'm happy for that. So I'm currently working as a principal software engineer at lightcast.io. It's one of analytic related company related to the job market. Okay, next. The topic is building SaaS application on Azure. Why I decided is like from the start of my career, I've been doing this stuff for like last 9 years plus something. So I just wanted to say, like it's kind of sharing my experience, like what are the things I had to come across, and how simply you can build a SaaS application, because like it's kind of a jargon people are used to in nowadays. So I wanted to cover. Okay, what is the most difficult thing to build? Do you think SaaS, PaaS, or IaaS? No, nothing. Okay, let's go into the slide. So this is a huge slide. I copied from the Microsoft website. I didn't read it. I just wanted to say upfront, like what is SaaS? So a SaaS can be anything you are going to use, just logging in a browser literally seeing in the words. So it's basically a cloud-based application. So I had put out a large image, whether I'm not sure whether people in the background are able to see. So this is like basically like how the SaaS is getting grow. First one is like infrastructure as a service. For example, like you are having some infrastructure, you are going to pay for that, and using that, that's a IaaS. Then you are having some platforms that you are going to use, that's a PaaS. And these kind of things has been combined, and like you are just going to a browser and logging something and started using straight away, instead of worrying about what is the front end, what is the back end, how the algorithm works, nothing. So you pay for it, or like you use the services, whether it can be open source or something else. But you just log in and start using it. So that's the SaaS. So there is a classic slide. So this is a classic slide. If you search this pizza as a service in Google, you will see at least 100 images is the same content, but in a different way. But this is one of the interesting slide, I would say. First one is like a traditional way of building on-premises deployment. So we used to build these kind of applications, like we build a console application or some kind of application. So making the pizza, how it can be shown as a service. So if you made the pizza in the home, the kitchen, the gas, oven, everything will be done by us. So that's kind of an on-premise application, which means you are going to install everything in your machine. You take care of the network, you take care of the resources it is using, you take care of the RAM and the hard disk, order the memories and the subscriptions. Like if you are using a SQL Server, that license you are going to take care, those kind of things comes under on-premise. Few things can be changed, but this is the literal meaning actually. Next one is infrastructure as a service. So let's say like what is this two color? This is the blue color, I think. What are the things we manage? The green color is what the vendor manages. So in this case, infrastructure as a service, the vendor is providing as a kitchen, and they are providing the gas stoves and the ovens, so that's kind of things. What we are going to get is like we take a pizza, toppings, and put the man effort from us, and that will be like things that we are going to manage. So that comes under infrastructure as a service. So you could see like everything is managed by us. We splitted some tasks given to some, and we are managing something. So that's a kind of a service. So we call it as a IaaS. So okay, so this is something is there. Next thing is like the pizza dog will be provided by them, and only the toppings and the man effort we are going to put. So that comes under platform as a service. And the final thing is SaaS. You don't do anything, you pay for it, you get it, and enjoy the food. So this is what we are doing in Swiggy or Zomato, these kind of things. So you don't do manage anything, you just order it. Which says, for example, you pay for some mailing account. You don't have to worry about the database they are using, the search algorithm they are using, or like the other indexing they are using. You pay for it, you got the sign up, and you sign in and start using it. So this is another big slide. This is the same content. Okay. So here it is putting more different words here. Earlier we seen words something like the pizza and pizza dough. Like lots of people can't relate, or like a lot of people can't imagine those kind of things. If you see here in the meaningful ways, Data access, application runtime, everything will be handled by us. It can be a private cloud or like your virtual machine or like your hosted machine or like your own laptop. So that's a on-premise. When it goes as a infrastructure as a service, you manage the compute, networking, and storage, and remaining things will be provided by the infrastructure. Okay, I think it's either way. So if you see at the last thing, everything will be provided from the SaaS provider. For example, like you're using some booking application, let's say like Book My Ride or like something else, these buses and railway, these things, you don't have to build the application, you don't have to contact the travel agency, you don't even have to check the availability of the seats. You log into the particular thing, that thing you are going to do. You are just accessing the data. The remaining things will be available in the SaaS application. So these even the pay as you go and like a subscription models, the Netflix, these things are similar to the SaaS application. Okay, why we need to learn about SaaS? It's all about time, basically. So if you are going to build a small application, example, you are going to build an application to book a slot in attending these meetings. Whether you will be checking the good infrastructure, whether you will be doing a research, whether I need to create a sign-up link, whether it can be a sign-in with Google option or sign-in with Facebook option, or you are going to build from the scratch. So if it is already available, you are just going to use the popular things. For example, Gmail is popular, Outlook is popular, and even some other mail applications is popular. That thing you will be having as a default. So around 75 or 80% of people will be covered in that. So you don't have to worry about sign-up, sign-in related services. So it's all about time again. So we are not saving the money here, or not, like we are not saving the resources here. We are saving the time that we are going to utilize. So when you save the time, you spend that particular time in a meaningful way to build the application more, I would say, like a more efficient way. Okay, what I tried to show here is like a small railway scheduling app. Like it's not a big app, it's just I'm just taking small parts in the SaaS thing. So what I tried is like I built a small web application which contains around like 2 pages only. So it got a sign-in related a feature, and the next one is like searching the schedule. So I used some open source API to search the data and show it in a meaningful way. And I created a page to save my favorite stop. For example, like if I'm traveling from Chennai to Salem or like Coimbatore, I want to save that filter in the home page so that I could able to click that option instead of searching every time. So I'm just saving the time here again. Okay, I just listed what are the things I tried to build. Sorry. First one is like I tried mention like a train schedule search app. It contains a lot of small services provided by the Azure. First one is like a Azure AD. So I tried building the application with this sign-in user options. Next one is like instead of using the native app service to host, I built a small app because like it's not going to have a complex UI logics or those kind of things. So I hosted it in a static web apps. So let me post. So he's trying to click for a lot of time. Okay. So instead of hosting it, because if it is in a huge a web application or something else, I would host it in app service. It's going to be only the couple of pages. I tried static web apps. So I will tell you what is a static web apps in a minute. And the next one is like Azure function. What Azure function is doing here is like it is trying to pull some data, which is like a kind of a static data, and in every HTTP request I am making. Next one is like I built a API which is doing a CRUD operation, and it will be saving my favorite station and deleting the favorite station kind of things. And I used GitHub for the version control, of course. Next one I tried using Azure pipelines and also like pipelines in the GitHub actions. So for the seamless deployment, and everything I mentioned, all the above is built and hosted on the Azure. So first thing what I did is like I created small Angular application using the Angular CLI. It can be ng something, and added a couple of modules, and I added some authentication components, And I went to the Azure and created an app registration. What app registration will do is like it will provide us some client ID, tenant ID, which will be filled in these three things. I think you people are able to see this. Client ID, authority, and a redirect URI. Redirect URI is something like once you logged in, where you want to redirect that particular user into it. And added a couple of tokens. Okay, I will just show the application at first. What we will see, like application will be very small, and after that I will be explaining in detail how the components have been built. So for example, so this is some small application. So I named this as a tracker. So I just added some couple of CSS to look something decent. So I have a sign in button here, kind of a login button. When I click it, what it's trying to do is like it is trying to connect to my Azure thing. So I think it is already signed in. Let me put it in a new tab. So if you click here, what it try to do is like it will show up the pop-up. So these kind of pop-up are showing on the sign button or like the email, phone text boxes. I don't have to build it. Azure is doing that for me because like we used that particular library. And once I signed in, what it will do is like it will return me a couple of informations like who I am and what I can able to do, those kind of informations. For that, we can able to see in a profile. I just hide the token related information or like some unreadable data. So this is what it is actually doing. So if I go to schedules, what we have is like a plain text box and a search box. Okay. So what we are going to do is like we will search for something. Search for Chennai. Okay, it's showing some trains which are popular and the front time or to time, what are the classes available, like first class, second class, those kind of information. And if we go to settings, we could be able to search for the popular informations basically. And we could be able to save those information as well. Once we saved it, it will show up here. I think the AP is getting blocked. Okay, that's not really sure. So coming to the main point, so what I trying to do is like I just build a small app. You can see like, okay, this is a small app, what it is going to do. Do you think you guys tried using these kind of applications? For example, like you can't able to keep the Tamil calendar or like your native region-wise calendar. If you want to see like what is the auspicious time for today, you go Google Tamil calendar. A calendar website will be there. You just hit it. Let's say like only around in this room, maybe 10 people will be hitting in a day. You think of how many people will be hitting in our country, and you think of how many people hitting across the world for that particular Tamil calendar or something. So that's the kind of a SaaS application. You don't pay for it, but you use it. How they are earning from hits? They will be displaying the ads, and they are earning. So the small solution they provided, and they are earning in a small way. And next one is like a CSV to JSON. So I work for a data company. So most of the time, when we try to change the CSV to JSON, we go to some website and do the conversion. So it's not about just a CSV to JSON, or like you will convert some pixel to EM related units, lots of units, even the currency rates, you Google for it. So lots of websites, these small websites are like an individual SaaS application, I would say. So what it is doing is like it is serving for a purpose, kind of a microservice, even I would say. It is providing some solution. What that solution is doing, it is providing what you needed. So that's the kind of platform Azure is providing you. If you want to build something, all the environment is available. You can go ahead and grab the opportunity and try creating it. So how I created it, I will show it. So first of all, I created app registration. App registration is nothing but once you created it, it will provide a couple of information. Don't worry, I will be deleting it. You can't reuse the IDs. So here, they will be providing the redirect URIs. So these are the URLs. If the particular website is getting authorized, it will be redirected it. So this gray mushroom, these a randomly generated website is like a static web apps. I'll show what is the static web apps. Okay, I was already in that page. What it will do is like it will generate you some random URL. You could be able to host your application for free. So it's a, for example, it can be an Angular app or React app or like a native JavaScript related simple HTML things. So it is like a static web apps. So we have hosted it, and it had lots of options like. So you can able to do those kind of things. So why I'm showing these options is like when I was building a websites and hosting for a company, what we do is like we go to some machine, we set up a IaaS, which is like some kind of a server, or like even if I go to my college time, we'll be setting up some Tomcat server. So these words are like will be new to some of the 2K kids. Okay, so IaaS service is like a kind of old, so the configuration will be different. And for example, like even if you want to set up a custom domain, it will be different. If you want to install a SSL certificate, it will be different. I'm just saying this is 10 years back. If you want to host a website in today, you can do it in a few minutes. So you can set up a custom domain straight away. For example, you can go ahead and set up a custom domain. And if you want to like enable the application insights, you can straight away go ahead and enable it. For example, like how many people hit that particular website, how many, which kind of a platform it is get hidden, like it can be a Chrome browser or like a Firefox browser. All this information you are going to do. All we have to do is like click that S button and save. You don't have to go to your IaaS and take the logs, and that logs will be in a text format, and you have to write some code to read it, or like install again some apps to read it and group it. So you will be having static web apps to do that. You can straight away do that. Next one is like a database. For example, like if you want to create a database in your local machine, what you have to do? You have to download the SQL Server. Let me say in MS SQL. You have to download the SQL Server, set up the and install it, and create some schema. Even I'm just saying, if you want to set up some sample data. For example, you want to create some table. Because I'm from front-end related background, I don't remember all those create table names, that kind of things, because I read it in college, which is like a few years back. I remember those kind of things. What I will do is like I will come to Azure and ask it to create me a sample data. Okay, it is saying like your IP is different because yesterday I created it from my home network. Now the IP is different. It's saying like you are from a different person, even though I am using my own subscription. That kind of security it is having. What I'm going to do is like I'm going to add my IP and say like, okay, don't worry. There is a comedy, like one guy will be wearing the mask, the dog will be keep on barking. Once he opened it, the dog will be smiling, literally smiling. So what I'm going to do is like add my client IP address and save. Now go to my SQL database and try to log in. Then I logged in. I can open some database and query straight away instead of even I don't need SSMS, that SQL Server Management tool, to just to preview the data. It is available in the online straight away. I'm just saying, repeating the same words again. It's all about time. If you're going to try out something, you don't have to like set up spend some 30 minutes or 40 minutes to download, install, configure, and then like restart the machine, I would say. So that kind of things you don't need. This kind of sample DBs are already available. It will provide you the actions to take care whether you want to set up a sample data or like go with the empty data. So this kind of database I already set up. All I did is like I created some table with some city's name, which can be shown in this particular drop down. So drop down is showing now because do you think why the drop down didn't show up earlier? Because like my IP address is different. So just now I added my IP address, and it thinks like earlier it was things like I'm hitting from the different IP address. Someone taken my credential, but it's not me. that kind of firewall setup I already had. So that's how it is shown. Let me add some city. I'm not sure. Okay, let me add a Mumbai suburban. It's showing saved. If I go to my schedules page, and it's showing as a quick filter. And also like why I try to build this, like I travel to office daily in a local train. Whenever I wanted to see the schedule, I open some website and search for some time, and like every time I try to set up my station name. Even I am going to publish this site and use it for me daily. Like I'm going to set my home station and going to, whenever I go, I should show what is the next train. I don't have to scroll down or like set up the time, which one is thing. It should probably get my location and check the nearest station and show me the information. So this is how I set up my DB. Next interesting thing is Azure Functions. So when I was introduced to Azure Function, I was very excited because like one of the guy called Hariharan, he's here, he talked yesterday session. He taught me about the Azure Function. I was very interested to learn. So what Azure Function will do is like, I used to the HTTP request based triggers here. What it will do is like whenever I'm hitting that particular URL, for example, so this is my URL. So this is the basic page. I think name equal to, okay, I'm not sure about the API needed. Okay, what it will do is like, I will show the code anyway. What it will do is like, it will get the name from my parameter and try to connect to my APIs, which is already a different API, and provide me the results based out of it. And Azure Functions will can be work like a stateless or that kind of related things. So I preferred Azure Function. For example, like if I want to change the environment or like change the APIs or like change the implementation, I will straight away go and delete that particular Azure function and will take care of it. And like it's not related to any authorization related things I didn't going to manage. I'm going to keep it as a Kubernetes is showing 15 minutes remaining. I can able to finish it. So it is showing like a individual data. And you don't have to like worry about the things. It is going to provide me a static data. For me, static data is needed, so I created for it. So you can see like what is the function execution count, how many times it is showing. And again, I'm just repeating the things. You will have some n number of state statistics and the related informations and like the custom domain related things here. So Azure is providing those kind of control over for you to do these things. And finally, we have API management. API management is like a vast kind of thing. You should must try out this thing, because like when you are having an API, that's the power of accessing the data. I work for a company where like around 200 million data is saved. We build web applications and like we sell it for around like each license can be like 50 lakhs or 20 lakhs. People just buying just to see the data. And again, we built a product called API. What they can do is like they can hit the API and they can build UI whatever they want, or like use the Excel related exports, those kind of things. And people started buying the API more. Reason, all matters is data for them. Not need to like a visualization. They can build the visualization if they want. Like because I am working for an analytics company, it is like all about data. So they prefer those things. And these API management is like a lot of tools is available. Like you can design your APIs, you can like manage your APIs, and also like you could see like what is the definition of that particular API call, and like what is the definition of like this get call and all. How many of you tried using Swagger? Swagger is literally like if you are having some APIs, it will show like what is the definition available inside and how we can use it. But API management is one level up together. You can able to like design things and you can set up some inbound processing, outbound processing related information. And this is like one of the key product I would say Azure is having. So coming back to our product, how this small application used all these things. First one is like this UI you are seeing is built on top of Angular, and it is using Angular Microsoft related libraries to do the Azure AD, and this search is sending the request to the Azure function, which is getting the result. Let me search again. So when I click the search button, it will send the request to the Azure function. If we click again, we could be able to see. So this is the, the URL you see here will be different. I will explain it at the end. It will send the request to the Azure function, and this particular Mumbai Suburban is like a favorite station we have saved. It is coming from the storage API, that is the API management we have built. Okay, the reason it is showing as like a localhost / something like that, I did some trick here in my Angular code. So I am just mimicking that it is going from my local API. So /API doing some target API. So this is my first one is like a Azure function URL. Second one is like a API management URL. So whenever I hit /API pattern, it will send the request to the get schedule. When I say like a /dynamic API pattern, it will send the request to API management. The reason is like it is for like make sure like Angular is not throwing cross-origin error while the debugging process. When we are going to like production, we will be upgrading to the real URLs, and it will be like handled in the server side to not to throw the cross-origin issues. Okay, so that's it from my end. Let me go to the slide. So as I mentioned, like these are the small apps that is you guys are using is a SaaS application. So the demos I have been showing, like these kind of small apps, you can try building it and hosting in the Azure, and you can try out the options. Thank you, everyone.